Hey guys, welcome back to Burning Down the House. In today's video, we're going to talk about the 10 signs of an energy vampire. This is part of a 10 sign series I've created for easy consolidated reference. You can find the 10 sign series playlist on this channel, along with other listicles relating to narcissism, toxic relationships, setting boundaries, and practicing self-care. But back to the subject of today's video. What is an energy vampire? An energy vampire is someone who leaves you feeling drained. Someone who has sucked the proverbial lifeblood out of you. Just so we're clear about something, none of us has mastered our interpersonal relationships perfectly. Sometimes we give a little bit more than we take, or we take a little bit more than we give. I'm not talking about that. I'm referring to a family member, a friend, anyone really who takes far more from the relationship or the interaction than they give and leaves you feeling consistently drained and resentful. How do you identify an energy vampire? Consider the following 10 signs. Sign number 1, they're a chronic victim. We all at some point go through a rough patch, and having compassion for ourselves and for others can do wonders in helping us to heal from these experiences. But an energy vampire is committed to maintaining a victim mentality and never takes responsibility for their life or their future. And please don't misunderstand me. I'm not suggesting that someone who suffers from depression or some other mental illness is just making excuses and should snap out of it. Many people who have suffered serious traumas and have these chemical imbalances acknowledge their struggle and are taking constructive steps to manage it. And I'm also not referring to the severely disenfranchised among us, individuals who have had legitimately horrible things happen to them left and right. And even so, in a lot of these cases, they still refuse to have a victim mentality. They overcome insane odds and go on to lead productive, happy lives despite what happened to them. And it should just be noted too that when facing certain challenges or difficulties, everyone progresses on their own timeline, and we tend to react more positively to compassion and kindness than just someone pressuring us to get over it. Rather, energy vampires who are chronic victims lack the self-awareness necessary to pursue this growth mindset. Chronic victims will always blame their circumstances on others. There's an expression, it's not your fault, but it is your problem. This person may have been legitimately hurt or wronged in some way, and it's important that they acknowledge what happened and acknowledge their feelings, yes. But instead of learning from their experience and empowering themselves to move forward in life, they will continue to wallow in their misery, bringing you down with them. Sign number 2, they're always involved in some kind of drama. Energy vampires are always attracted to drama. This could be a family member or a friend who only reaches out to you when they want to gossip, or maybe they're always unloading their problems on you, some relationship saga with a boyfriend or girlfriend and it's getting old. And honestly, they may not have bad intentions or consciously realize what they're doing. I mean, we all at some point need to vent and get things off our chest, but the key difference here is that while we may express ourselves to release drama from our life, for an energy vampire, drama energizes them, and they may consciously or unconsciously seek it out. Energy vampires tend to be easily bored, and generating drama in their life or the lives of others provides some meaning and structure. Drama is the spark, the jolt of battery power they need to get through their day, and they'll often try to get you involved in some way. Bottom line is, whether they're doing it intentionally or not, there is no shame in separating yourself from a perpetual drama queen who consistently depletes your energy. Sign number 3, they're codependent. This type of energy vampire has unfortunately come to rely on you for their sense of identity and support. They may be hypersensitive, reading into every move you make. Even the most innocuous look or glance or statement is misconstrued or twisted into something you never meant for it to be. This kind of relationship is exhausting as you repeatedly try to reassure, console, or build the other person up. But the reality is, no amount of love, compassion, and support is enough for a person who doesn't believe in themselves. The other person has convinced themselves that they cannot survive without you, and if you're not careful, you can begin to believe it too. You must remember that with this type of energy vampire, they're not looking for constructive support. They're looking for a crutch, and you're that crutch. Sign number 4, they're consistently negative. These energy vampires are Debbie Downers who view everything through a negative lens. Just like the chronic victims, they perpetually see the glass half empty, are always attributing bad motives to others, and tend to demonstrate catastrophic thinking. And don't for a second fool yourself into thinking that your sunny and positive disposition will rub off on them. Rather than feeling nourished by your interactions, it's more likely that that energy vampire is going to suck you into their negative cloud, leaving you feeling drained and uninspired. Sign number 5, they're passive aggressive. This kind of energy vampire is always trying to yuck your yum. It could be a family member, a friend who appears to be supportive, but their compliments are backhanded and you can almost sense an undercurrent of jealousy and resentment. Oh, you started your own business? That's cute. Congratulations on all your success. And it's easy to do when you have the advantages you had. Aw, you look amazing. It's okay, sweetie, you can work those last 5 pounds off. These types of statements seem supportive on the surface, but they're meant to discredit and humiliate you. The passive-aggressive energy vampire has really low self-esteem and needs to drag you down to build themselves up. If you're not sure how to spot this type of energy vampire, pay attention to how you feel when they attempt to compliment you. A sincere compliment feels good, but a passive-aggressive statement leaves you feeling confused, guilty, or just bad about yourself. Pay attention to these subtle energy vampires who are always trying to knock the wind out of your sails and cut them out. Sign number 6, they give you guilt trips and ultimatums. An energy vampire doesn't understand the word no. They demand your time and attention and will even go so far as to guilt trip you for not dropping everything in your life to cater to them. This type of energy vampire will say things like, if you were really my friend, if you really cared, you would do X, Y, Z. In their mind, they should be the center of your universe. They expect you to immediately respond to text messages, emails, phone calls, and will sometimes have a complete meltdown just to manipulate you into getting you to do what they want. This person's lack of emotional regulation is not your problem. A healthy individual will respect your time, space, and choices, even if they don't fully understand them. But a lot of energy vampires just don't know how to take a hint and will outright violate your boundaries even when you've been direct with them. Sign number 7, they're self-centered. This kind of energy vampire may be a genuinely nice person, but it's always about them. Their kid, their job, their wedding, their problems. Conversation should include a healthy give and take, a mutual nurturing of the relationship. And to be clear, I'm not talking about keeping score or being petty about it. But if your family member or friend always directs the conversation back to themselves with little to no reciprocity or interest in your life, you're dealing with an energy vampire. Sign number 8, they're always competing with you. This kind of energy vampire is always trying to one-up you. Maybe you have your bachelor's degree, but they have a graduate degree. Or maybe you just finished your first 5K, but they have to remind you that they climbed Mount Everest. Maybe it's a parent who says, no matter how far you go in your schooling, I went to the school of hard knocks and I'll always know more than you. Or maybe it's a friend who is so deeply insecure over being single that if you find someone, they have to downplay or ignore your happiness. These types of energy vampires struggle to show genuine interest in other people's lives and achievements and are only happy if they feel like they're beating you at something. Sign number 9, they're critical and controlling. Some energy vampires are super critical and will always have an opinion about what you do. Even if they have the best of intentions, they didn't seem to get the memo that you already have a mama and don't need another one. Unless, of course, the energy vampire is your mama. This energy vampire doesn't see you as a separate person with your own beliefs and values and will repeatedly violate your physical and psychic boundaries. And sign number 10, they exploit your good nature. If you are a kind, sensitive, compassionate person, you are particularly susceptible to energy vampires because you're probably really generous with your time and non-judgmental. The problem or the challenge that this presents is that the energy vampire will never appreciate this or see it as an opportunity for self-reflection and growth. Instead, unfortunately, your niceness and lack of boundaries is a flashing green light to take advantage of you. Not only will they attempt to monopolize all your time and attention, but they'll expect you to solve all their problems for them as if you're responsible for them. If any of these scenarios sounds familiar or you're currently dealing with an energy vampire, let this be a wake-up call to you to protect your mental and emotional resources. And please understand that I'm not suggesting you become cynical or harsh with people, but just because you have compassion for someone doesn't make it okay for them to pressure you or guilt you into putting their needs first. By setting clear boundaries with these individuals, whether that means limiting your interactions or not engaging at all, cutting them out completely, that's up to you. You not only protect yourself from their psychic loitering, they're hanging around, taking up space in your brain and your life, but you clear the path for healthy relationships to come into your life because you're no longer investing and expending all your energy on these energy vampires that are clogging up the line. So there you have it, 10 signs of an energy vampire. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this content helpful. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button for future videos, and I'll see you next time.